Hey guys, Chris, Nichols Retirement Empire, and today I'm going to start a new series called Can I Gain Control of My Class Second Semester? And you may be asking, well, why are you outside? Why are you doing an educational video outside? I'm doing it outside because the leaves are falling. It's fall, it's near Thanksgiving. It's the time of the year when teachers are scrambling around trying to get everything done before the end of the semester. There's a lot going on. And if you're a new teacher, it can be very tough this time of year. If you've been having behavioral issues and discipline issues in your classroom, this is the time of year where it gets worse, because you have a lot of breaks. You have a lot of things going on in your school that can detract. And if you didn't do a really good job at the beginning of the year, laying down, the expectations in your classroom, and you didn't really do a good job staying on top of that, things probably have gotten progressively worse and worse with your students' behavior. I've had a lot of teachers come into my office as an administrator this time of year and say, hey, I've got this class, or I've got this one class, or my students in general, they are just, they're just going crazy. I'm having a hard time teaching my classes. I'm having a hard time getting through my lessons. They're not listening. They're not. And, they'll ask me, is there anything, what can I do? That kind of deal. And I always tell them this, and this may sound crazy, but the way I describe it is it's like you're in a big ship, like a ship like the Titanic, and you need to turn it around. Well, you don't just get in a big ship and just turn around and do a 180. It takes a lot of effort and a lot of time to get a big old ship turned around, going the right direction. And that's the way it's going to be with your classroom. It's going to take some time, and it's going to take a lot of effort to get that thing turned around. The reason I'm doing this series now at this time is because your best chance of getting your ship turned around is right now, because you have this big break in the middle of the year before you come back for second semester. And you can treat second semester, now it's not going to be exactly like this, but you can treat second semester like it's the first day of school. And that is your shot to start again. So today, let's talk about a couple of things that you can do before we get to that first day of the second semester. I wouldn't just write it off and just hope that I survive the rest of this semester. You've got about a month to go, probably 3 weeks of actual work in school. I would be taking that time to start prepping my kids and prepping myself for second semester. One thing that I would do first in my classroom is I would begin to start trying to set up and establish a routine to my classroom that we're going to follow every day. Every single day, we are going to do things this way, in this order. Kids like to have a routine. They like to know what's going to happen next. It makes them more comfortable in the classroom. And I wouldn't start off trying to do everything all at once. I would start off with the beginning of my class, establishing a routine that you can do that works for you to get things started, because that's the most important time in your classroom, is the beginning. If you're not in control at the beginning, you're not going to get control in the middle of the class. And the routine that you establish doesn't have to be anything really special, but it needs to be something that your kids will do. You've been in that classroom for a semester. You know what they will or will not do. If your kids absolutely will not write, don't make writing part of the routine to start the class. Pick something that you know your kids will do. That way you can start off every class with something successful. I'm a big believer in momentum. I believe you have to get kids doing what you want them to do in small steps so that they just get used to that's naturally the way things work. You know, I come into class, the teacher tells me where to sit, I sit down. The teacher says, hey, come here a second, I want to hand you this piece of paper and talk to you. You get up, you walk over there to, you know, hey, could you do me a favor? Could you go shut that door for me? Kid goes over there and shut the door. You just made that kid do 3 things in a row that you ask them to do. That's momentum. You're getting the kid used to, you're getting the kids trained to do what you're asking them to do through small steps. The other thing I would do that you can do now is I would make sure that I'm at my door when that class change is occurring, and that I talk to every single kid when they come into my classroom, and that it's a positive, you know, it's a positive interaction with that kid, and that I'm letting them know what's coming up for the class. We're going to be doing such and such. You grab one of these sheets. You know, I got them sitting right here. Grab a sheet while you're walking in. Just anything to get them used to the idea that as soon as they walk in that classroom, you care about them, you're in charge because you're organized. So that's something you could start right now. The more you do it, the more they get used to it. If you can get those classes started off right, you got a chance to turn things around. Third thing that I would start right now in my classroom is I would start using a timer. Doesn't matter what kind of timer it is. I like just the old kitchen timers. It made the you know, it made the little ringing noise when they went off. The reason I like the kitchen timers is because they tick out loud. So they create a sense of urgency because they're ticking. And the other reason I liked them was if I had given them too much time to do something, I could reach down and turn that timer and make it ding when I got ready. We're not going to waste time. When that timer goes off, we're going to do something. It's going to be fast paced and we're going to move on. You need to get those kids used to the idea that they are on your time in that classroom, and that things need to be done with urgency. Things need to be done in a timely manner. I would start using a timer for everything I did. Something about a timer, you know, makes people feel like, you know, that they are under pressure, but it's good pressure because you're being productive. So that's 3 things you can do. Begin to establish a routine at the beginning of class that you can do every day that'll get people on task. I would start meeting every kid at the door every day, and I would make sure they understand that class starts the minute they walk into my classroom. I'm not wasting any time. I mean business. And the third thing that you can start now, it's going to help you when you get to that second semester, is I will start using a timer, using timers. Now, we'll talk about some things that we want to get prepped to do when we start second semester, because that's going to be a big deal. You want to be able to walk in there, treat it like the first day of school, and establish your control over that classroom so that kids can get in there and learn. So we'll continue this series with some other videos. You guys should start thinking now, what are some things I can do? What are some routines I want to establish? What are my kids good at doing? What do my kids like to do? And you need to start taking advantage of those things, or at least start thinking about them for second semester. Have a good day. Nichols Retirement Empire.